Okay, we saved, I guess, the most difficult topic for last, and those are, that relates to the COVID topic. Of course, there are many COVID issues. I think what's on people's mind is a question more of confusion than of instruction. By now, so many months into COVID, I think each person has his own influence, his own medical advice or rabbinic advice. For the most part, his own internet advice that he follows. Some people being in one extreme, sort of locked into their house, people in the other extreme going out a lot. The question is really one of perspective and how people who are trying to be either very careful or more careful when it comes to COVID. I think most of our kehillah is at least moderately to very careful. We do daven with masks. And yet, very often we see whole communities that are not careful. It's really a separate cheshbon, and I think it would be good if the Rav could give us a perspective of the fact that in the yeshiva world, it's universally felt by mechanchim, by menahalim, by rebbeim, that the price of having children in masks all day within the yeshiva is not worth the sacrifice chinuch wise. So I guess it's just a request for an overall perspective on the two, on dealing with the difference in the communities, and particularly an understanding of what's going on in the yeshivas.
It is part of human nature. We all like to be liked and loved and admired. It is part of human nature. We would like to please people, especially when I am addressing a community I don't really know. And it would be politically correct for me to say, everything is okay, and everybody has his own meaning and his own derech. But sometimes in life, you need to be true to yourself, true to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And for the past 10 months, I've been trying to convey a message of pikuach nefesh, of responsibility. I cannot accept the statement that the chinuch price of wearing a mask is negative. To be mechanech our children to wear masks is part of the chinuch. And the opposite, in my opinion, is awful. Our children in yeshivas should be wearing masks, and the girls in schools and the children in cheder. If they don't wear masks, we're mechanech them to disregard human life. It is beyond me. We're supposed to teach the world what pikuach nefesh is. We're supposed to teach the world, amakayim nefesh achas miyisod kilo kiyam oilam molei. V'ama'abed nefesh achas miyisod kilo ibed oilam molei. In my shul, a person wouldn't dare to come in for a second without a mask. And I'm not an aggressive person. But if I turn around and I see a person in the corner without a mask, I will motion to him. In my kollel, and the Gavaldige Masmidim, an Avrech wouldn't take a mask for a minute. If he wants to drink a cup of coffee, he would leave the Besmedish and go out. People are dying. People are dying. Do we care? It is beyond me. So yes, we need yeshivas, we need chadorim. We can't close yeshivas, but why can't we demand and teach our children? We need to wear masks. You might infect your zaidi, or your neighbor, or a cancer patient that lives next door. My dear friends, people are dying every day in America and in Israel. And we could prevent that. We could prevent that. It's up to us. So I just don't understand what it means. The mechanchim feel that the price of what's the price of wearing a mask? Wearing a mask should be such a powerful chinuch tool. Shouldn't be detrimental to chinuch. It's an instrument of chinuch, teaching our children to care, teaching our children the kol yisrael arevim zeh b'zeh. We're supposed to be out in the front, teaching the entire world what the life of individual is. The life of an individual is doiris, is generations. And the loss of an individual affects so many people. His family will never be the same. This week, about 15 Haredim died in Eretz Yisrael, aged from 40 to 60 to 70 to 75 and to 80. Each of those people left a broken family that'll never be the same. A month ago, the family I know, the Kala came to my house to ask for a bracha. She's getting married in another 2.5 months. Her father passed away a week and a half ago. When she came to ask a bracha from me, she didn't imagine that her father won't walk her to the chuppah. He was 59 years old. He had cancer, but his cancer was treatable, it was curable. And he died from COVID because somebody totally reckless and irresponsible sat next to him without a mask. So, it's not nice to be, maybe I'm being rude, but I feel I could say nothing else because this is a message I feel it's my responsibility to convey. I'm an old man, 67 if you consider that old. And it's not comfortable to wear a mask, but I wear a mask. Whenever I'm with other people, I wear a mask. I chas v'sholem don't want to become ill, and I don't want to chas v'sholem infect any others. So I took the vaccine last week, and this is a new story now with the anti-vaxxers, which once again are, I hope I'm not offending anyone, Rav Eizman, but this is a topic which I feel very strongly about. This insanity of anti-vaxxers. Vaccines save lives, and it's probably the only way we'll get out of this pandemic. My mother is 92. I had her vaccinated. She feels well, Baruch Hashem. It didn't affect her. I was vaccinated last Monday. And so we need to open our ears and our hearts and hear the cries and the anguish of families that are losing family members. And everybody speaks about the numbers. There are tens of thousands that will carry the scars of COVID for many years, maybe for the rest of their lives. And I know many of them. Baruch Hashem, they didn't die, but they didn't bounce back, and they're not the same as they were before. So my message is, please be careful. Follow the rules, vaccinate, Shomer Pesoim Hashem, but we need to do everything we can to save lives. What is my take on COVID? What are we taking home after this pandemic will be over? I think the first wave was devastating, but it was encouraging. It brought out the best in us. And every person that died, people knew, people cared, and the families felt that they have support. This time around, I think it's bringing out the worst in us. Machlokes, sinas achim, and people no longer seem to care. People no longer seem to care. Kol Yisrael arevim zeh b'zeh. I hope some of that will stay with us. Yes, I expect the young and the strong and the vibrant and the healthy to wear masks, not for themselves, but for others, for the ill, for the feeble, for the old, for those that have a compromised immune system, and there are many amongst us. We're just finishing the story of Yosef with his brothers. So we need to care for each other. I hope that some of this hargosha of Arvos will stay with us. Let me share with you a thought on Vayigash and Vayechi. Es Yehuda Sholach Lefonov, Goishno. Rashi writes, V'taken loy beis Talmud. He should open a yeshiva, koilel. Why does he send Yehuda? Levi is the one that represents Torah, and Yisachar was the lamb. If I would be Yaakov Avinu, I would either send Levi or Yisachar. Why Yehuda? So Yehuda wasn't known as the biggest lamb of Yaakov's children. We have the Yisachars of one concept. Yisachar was Yoshev Oil. Levi is Shevet Levi. Levi dedicates his life only to Torah. Chelik lo yiyah, nachla lo yiyah lo b'kerevech. My feeling is, Yehuda is the one that said, Ki avdecha ora v'sanar. Ki avdecha ora v'sanar. I am an order for my brother, for my brethren. Those are the people that need to be metaken boti Talmud. The people that care. Yaakov knew that Yehuda is the one that stood up for Binyamin, and he said, Ki avdecha ora v'sanar. Yaakov says, I want you to go. Yisachar might be a bigger lamb than you are, but avdecha ora v'sanar, so I want you to be metaken the base town. So let us all hope and pray that this will be over soon. And probably, the more people that will vaccinate, the safer we will be. And Kodesh Baruch Hu should take it away. And Kodesh Baruch Hu says, send refuahs and Yeshuas. But I hope that when it's all over, if anything positive will stay with us, it is just a more tangible and intense feeling of arvus, of kol yisrael arevim zeh b'zeh. And each of us, whatever we do, affects others. And we could bear in mind how our actions affect others. And we should all feel that we are one. Klal Yisrael is one. And we are all like one great family of Klal Yisrael. And I hope some of that feeling will stay with us.